Hey YouTube, in this video I'm going to be telling you my opinions on the Dreams Creator Beta, as well as how some of the sign-up stuff was handled for the beta. So to start off, the Dreams Beta is awesome. While I've been playing it, I've encountered nearly no problems. It's been a really smooth experience. It's really fun to make things, and it's really cool to see like what other people have made. It's relatively easy to get into the create mode. Make sure you play the tutorials. They're a little slow, but make sure to follow along with them and you'll be creating in Dreams in no time. It's really cool. And seeing the kind of things that people have made so far, which some of them are playing right now in the background from the MM stream, are just they blow me away, and after like only a month of like the earliest people having the game. So the Dreams beta itself has been awesome, but now I want to kind of discuss how the signups themselves were handled for the game. So most of you know that the first signups, I guess, were only for the people who had signed up to the Media Molecule newsletter that has just kind of been a thing for the last couple of months. So anyone who was specifically subscribed to that newsletter got a code first on the 19th of December. And I kind of get that system. Like, the people who would be subscribed to the Media Molecule newsletter are the kind of like really dedicated fans that, you know, I guess they would want the feedback of. And the reason that they would want that kind of smaller pool of people is because it was just turning Christmas and they wanted to make sure that they were able to stick to their word and get the beta out during 2018, which they technically did to some people. But over Christmas break, they only had a couple people working there to handle all of the bug reports and the server stuff and just all kinds of things. So that I kind of get. However, a lot of the people who I know were Media Molecule fans, like, to the core, who didn't sign up for the newsletter because it didn't really have a whole lot extra. Like, if you follow their Twitter, you pretty much know, like, all the bit of news that they would have. The newsletter was just something extra, where, like, they did, like, a couple of dev bios and community highlights and stuff, which were really cool, but it wasn't really necessary. So only the people who just wanted that extra stuff got into the beta. So one thing that I really wasn't expecting was there to be an NDA. It kind of made sense, I guess, for like those first wave of people, because they would get like the earliest version of the beta, and they wouldn't want, I guess, the early version out, even though they've been doing streams. I don't know. It just seems like the kind of game that you would want to share. Like, that's like half the thing, is like sharing what you've made and what other people have made with the world. But I kind of get it because it's a beta, but I don't know. And that might have also just been Sony's like beta policy. I'm not really sure how much of a hand they have in this whole process, but whatever. Beta signups went live on January 4th. The original plan for them was to have the beta then be accessible on the 8th to the people that signed up, but that was actually delayed to the 11th, which it's not too big of a deal, but it's a couple days of, you know, not having it, which is, you know, people who were looking forward to playing on the 8th missed a couple days of that. So, okay, the beta was kind of delayed from the 8th to the 11th. That's fine, I guess. However, what I wasn't expecting was for them to actually close the signups the 8th anyway. So I thought, like, since the beta was going to start on the 11th, I thought people had that amount of time to actually sign up, but it turns out it was still the original 4 days to sign up. So on the 8th, they actually closed the signups, which I just really wasn't expecting, and it kind of caught me off guard. So that's kind of unfortunate. During the streams, though, they kind of kept saying that they wanted to try and get as many people as possible that they could into the beta, and that implied to me, at least, that pretty much anyone who would sign up would get it, because, I mean, you need as many testers as you can, I would think, for something like this. The blog post does say that not everyone who signs up will get in, but also says they're going to try their best, and I think that they want as many people as they can to get in there. So the first wave of beta codes were sent out on the 11th, because they said that the people who would sign up would get the beta on the 11th. But it turns out that there were actually deciding to release the codes in waves, which means that since the 11th was a Friday, they actually had a whole nother set of waves come out the following Monday. So anyone who randomly just didn't get a chance to have the beta on Friday missed an entire weekend of actually playing the game, which is kind of sucky. So after the whole weekend, the rest of the waves went out on the 14th, so everyone who was in the waves got the beta then. However, even still, there's still people who just didn't get in. So like a lot of people I know, like people who would be really good testers and who would be really good creators, and I would love to see what they would make and find in the game, just randomly didn't have a chance to get in, and that's really sad. So the people who got the later codes on Monday the 14th, and the beta itself is still planning to be ended on January 21st, so that means that they only get 1 week with the game. And while they'll definitely be able to make some things in that time, it does take a little bit to learn the tools. So like having only a week with the game to like learn it and, you know, browse what you want to browse and then make what you want, there's just not enough time to make anything that big. So I'm really hoping that they extend the beta ending date. I don't know if they will, but I hope that they do. So you would think that after Christmas, when they have the full studio in the studio, that anyone who's signed up, which I'm assuming isn't an insane amount of people because this game still isn't the most public thing in the world, that everyone who signed up will be able to get in, but I guess that's just kind of not the case. Well, I kind of get that the NDA was set up for all the newsletter people because that's kind of a smaller group of testers. It just doesn't make sense to me that the NDA is still in effect for the people who signed up for the beta. Like, I don't know, it's just very frustrating. So if you've signed up and you still haven't gotten a code, I would still recommend for you to check your email spam folder. If you use Gmail, to check your promotional tab on the top instead of just primary or whatever it's called, because apparently people have been finding their emails with the code in it later because it didn't show up in their primary. So make sure you check everywhere in your email. Search for any emails from hello@MediaMolecule. That's where they would send the codes from. So just to be sure that you can at least play it if you got a code. Like I said, some people just didn't, which is really disappointing. But yeah, hopefully you're able to get in and are able to mess with it when the beta is done in a little less than a week now. So yeah, those are just kind of my opinions on the beta and kind of just the sign-up situation. I'm seriously excited for this game to fully release so that everyone can actually play it, so we can actually post things about it. So yeah, comment, rate, subscribe, and be sure to follow me on Twitter at Glitchmaster7. Okay, goodbye.